We just finished watching what some said was a Super Bowl game. It wasn't really much of a game, as most of you will remember. I'm sure you watched each and every minute of the game. But a lot of us look at the ads that come up throughout the game. And then there's an ad meter afterwards the next day that shows what the most popular ads were. The one that came in third came in first in my mind. And that was the ad put on by Budweiser showing the people in a community welcoming home a veteran from service. Over and over again, from older Americans to young children, to farmers, to grandparents, people with tears streaming down their eyes, welcoming home that veteran. That was the number one ad, not only in the Super Bowl, but what all of us should think about every day. To the men and women who have served this country, to come back home and then maybe not have a job waiting, maybe not being able to participate in real-life experiences. That's what it should be all about. In my assembly district, every single year sponsor something we call a Patriot Trip, where we take men and women who have served in the armed forces from World War II all the way up to Afghanistan to Washington, D.C. This will be our 7th Patriot Trip, and we'll be approaching 1,000 veterans that have visited the monuments that were erected in their behalf. I've worked with Chairman Benedetto, who is the chairperson of the Veterans Affairs Committee. He has expressed his support for this idea. Assemblywoman Deborah Glick, who is chairperson of the intern program, has indicated that she'll be thinking about this, and we're hoping that that thinking translates into reality. The most up-to-date statistics show that the unemployment rate among Gulf War-era veterans with disabilities is 8%, which is higher than the national average. Veterans currently returning from Iraq and Afghanistan face many challenges returning to domestic life, and high on that list is finding employment. Many disabled veterans cannot perform physical labor, but they are also not qualified for office jobs due to lack of a degree or any sort of certification. This combination poses significant challenges to disabled veterans trying to transition back into the workforce. What we're proposing today with Assemblyman Tedisco, the rest of our conference, and hopefully many members of the majority, is an assist to disabled veterans trying to get qualifications necessary to find a job they can sustain their families with. Nowadays, with the saturation of bachelor's degrees in the job market, a college education alone is not enough to guarantee success in finding work. Work experience, whether through internships, freelancing, or clerical positions, is absolutely necessary for building an effective resume. We're asking the Assembly to enact a pilot program for Assembly internships specifically geared toward New York residents who are disabled veterans. An Assembly internship program for disabled veterans would have several benefits for both the veterans and members of the State Assembly. First, Assembly internships are paid, so disabled veterans trying to pay their way through college, or maybe even trying to help their family, would get a source of income that they may not otherwise have. This experience of an internship program in the Assembly can fill an otherwise large gap in a resume for someone looking to gain entry-level employment after graduation. It's beneficial for other Assembly employees and members to work alongside disabled veterans. They bring with them a legacy of sacrifice and a legacy of experience on behalf of their country and communities, which would bring a different perspective to the Assembly. An Assembly internship for disabled veterans would help those who sacrifice themselves for our country to make the transition into the workforce, and that is why we are working together with the Assembly leadership on both sides of the aisle. I'm hoping that this moves forward, and I thank Assemblyman Tedisco for this idea, and we look forward to having 10 to 15% of the interns next year come from the disabled veterans. Thanks so much.